mentioned at the beginning, we have an award presentation today. As you know, you're here today part of this Changing Cities program. That's really our focus for the festival this year. As every day we're just seeing incredible, all of us, wherever we live, change around us in San Francisco. And I think in every film, every filmmaker in this festival, I want to honor all of them and what they're doing to make visible stories that are so important, stories that otherwise we just wouldn't be aware of. And I think film is the most powerful and immediate way we can bring these stories to light and share these stories with our friends. So please tell your friends about what you've seen here today and help the filmmakers get the word out. And within that, when we saw Beyond Recognition, we were just blown away. This is an incredible story. It's so important. Michelle's done something remarkable, and Corrina, your involvement with the film is also, we want to honor that, in working together to make all of us aware of this incredibly important thing that's happening in the Bay Area, the story of your people and the land. I mean, it's something, just the awareness that you're bringing to it, Michelle, is so important. So thank you for making this film. Thank you for allowing us to host this San Francisco premiere. And I'm delighted to announce that our Best Short Award 2015 goes to Michelle Steinberg for Beyond Recognition. I have to thank our award sponsor this year. Taipei Machines, for the third year in a row, have 3D printed our festival award. It's made from wood, so this is our groovy 3D award. Congratulations, Michelle, and thank you for sharing the film with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I really want to thank the Green Film Festival because they've actually been a really significant part of this project. Last year, at precisely this time, we did a work in progress screening with them in the Little Roxy. And it was just a really important event for us because it sort of brought everybody on the project together in a way that we really needed at that moment. So I think the Green Film Fest has sort of been there to support us before everyone else. And I've heard other filmmakers this weekend say the same thing. I think you guys are really a community-oriented festival that happens in a way I haven't seen at other festivals, and it's just so meaningful. And I think it's really meaningful for us because the story of the connection between Indigenous people and the environmental movement is something that gets missed a lot, and I think for green festivals and environmental movement in general to be more cognizant of that is just, it's why we did this, and it's a really great thing. And so there's a lot of people in the audience who had a role in this. It sort of takes a village to make a film. So y'all know who you are, and thank you so much. But mostly thank you, Corrina, for the honor of letting me do this project. Say something. Say something.
Hello, I think that there's a lot of people out there that I really love in the audience and have been really a part of this whole journey of us getting to this space. And I just want to, thank Michelle for all of the work that she put into this film and putting up with me and putting up with all of the things that happened. It's great to be here and to accept this award with Michelle. She's done incredible work, and it's been an interesting journey, the film itself. So I'm really thankful and humbled to be up here to do this. Always humbled to be able to speak on behalf of my ancestors who have always been here, and we continue to be here. And so I'd love to, just have conversation with folks and find out what it is that you guys liked and how we can work together to create this land trust here in the Bay Area where we live and grow and breathe and raise our children and our grandchildren, and how do we do that together?
Thank you, thank you. Any questions? Right here.
Good question. See, she mentioned maybe going to the churches and making presentations there. As I go out to the museums, I also work in the schools, and I do community organizing all over the Bay Area on a multiple of issues. But going into the churches is an idea. We've gone into synagogues and have gone to different interfaith places. to try to work with folks, and I think that people really get it in the Bay Area. There's a lot of people that have good hearts and really get it. We were also about a month ago, the folks that were in charge of No Sainthood for Sarah, because my ancestors were directly enslaved at Mission Dolores in San Francisco, as well as Mission San Jose in Fremont. So all churches aren't equally as happy to jump on board and try to work things out. Catholic Church, particularly in the Bay Area, because the mission system was the first colonizers, are not willing to do that. They're actually trying to canonize and make a saint out of the person that actually started the missionization of our people. So I would love to work with folks that are on an interfaith base. We actually do have a lot of folks that came out to support that particular event that were interfaith and actually helped us in prayer. And as always, when we, as Indigenous people, not only from this land, but folks that have been here for a long time, Indigenous people, we create an interfaith space on Alcatraz twice a year, where folks come together and work with Indigenous people on various things that are happening. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes.
What are things that currently with the process of securing the land trust, and how can people plug in to support?
So right now, we just received a second year of funding from the Christensen Foundation to create the thing, so that's good. We just got that notice. So that one of the things, it's a small grant for us to help us to get a 501c3. The interesting thing around land trusts is that there are thousands of land trusts in America, but there's only a handful that are Native American land trusts. And so we're trying to do something a little bit different and trying to figure out the wording. So right now we're hoping to get our 501c3, that's our nonprofit status, paperwork into the federal government by the end of June, so that we can move forward on that. I'm working with a few other people to put up a website. The website that I have up now is mostly outdated, that has stuff that we've done in the past around the yearly protests that we do at the mall and different kinds of walks that we've done around the Bay Area. So working with a few different people on putting that together. So hopefully by the end of summer, we'll have a new website up. Looking forward to folks that would like to plug in right now. I have an email address, shellmoundwalk@yahoo.com. And you can add on to that, and I'll blast stuff out via MailChimp as things come up.
And our website for the film is beyondrecognitionfilm.com, and we'll always have a direct link to wherever Corrina's at as far as having updates about the land trust, but also particularly linking her website in connection to the land trust, so you can sort of go back there as well.
Keep following the story.
Artifacts, it's 7 different criteria that the United States asks that you are able to prove. So like one of the things is that you would actually had a culture, or that you've had a government that has been running since before 1924, that's been on its own, so that you have that's in place, that you have these cultural relevant things that they feel are important. So there's 7 different things that you have to hit, and then you have to prove those kinds of things to them. So I have a friend of mine who has been working on federal recognition, not for Ohlone people, but for another non-federally recognized tribe. And they fill rooms full of documents. And then those rooms full of documents have to get sent to Washington, D.C. And then they go through that whole process. But it really, of all the 324 tribes that are trying to be recognized by the process of the American government, 1.5 get recognized per year. So it's a really bad way of doing that. The Ohlone people that are my relatives have named themselves Muwekma and have been working on this process for over 30 years and still have not received recognition, have gone through the process multiple times. And so they are right now, the federal government, looking at revamping the federal recognition process, but it doesn't look like that's going to help California Indians much. And if you've seen the film, you can see that all along the coastline, there are known federally recognized tribes, and that's very important for us to know, especially as environmentalists, as we begin to think about our waters along the coastline and the fracking that they're trying to do off the coast of California, and how important that is if we had a federally recognized tribe that was able to stand up and have that different relationship with the government about how that would happen. And I'm sorry I forgot the second part.
Genetic testing, I just wouldn't help in this case.
Yeah.
As Greg Castro said in the film, you know, it's the paternalism of the recognition process is really striking. I mean, it's really just another arm of colonization is how that process was set up and how that process is maintained. And I think, you know, it's when you start to look at all of those 7 criteria, it's just really set up to utilize the fact, and particularly in California, the reason there are so many non-federally recognized peoples is because the layers of colonization that happened here really disconnected people from their land bases early on. And so it's sort of like colonization itself made it impossible for people to fulfill the criteria that the paternalistic process then sets up for them. So it's very...
How can we see this film? What's the next step of this?
So the film was originally broadcast on KRCB, which is the PBS station in the North Bay, back in November, and then rebroadcast again for Women's History Month in March. And we just got picked up by a national PBS program called Natural Heroes that we're really excited about. So we're in the process of editing it down slightly for that program, so it'll be national in 2016. In the meantime, so go to our website, and at the moment I can't put it online because of other distribution things, but one thing we're working on right now is trying to get it into schools, because for folks who aren't from California, which I'm not, in 4th grade, kids learn about the missions, but they never get the counterbalance of, you know, what is the Native perspective on history here? And so we're working really hard to try and get it into both K through 12 and university settings, and we're trying to find distribution for that right now. So if anyone has leads or interest, let me know. But yeah, that's sort of where things are right now. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Corrina. Thank you all.